Hi, and welcome to lesson number 23 of the Fundamentals of Slovenian Grammar course. So today we will finally tackle the verb to be in the present tense. So it's kind of weird that it took us no less than 23 lessons to get to the verb to be. That's usually one of the first things we learn, or one of the first things we're taught in a textbook or workbook. But I do think that this is the way that makes the most sense. I think now the verb will be easier to learn than if we just tackled it right away. So let's review everything that will help us learn the verb to be, and then let's finally learn about the verb to be in the present tense. So first, a very brief review of plus S verbs, because it's important. They are verbs that get an extra S before the T endings, and it's you two and they two and you plural. So rather than being ta, ta, te, those verbs are sta, sta, and ste. And we said that it's a select few verbs that behave like this, but that they are very important nonetheless, because they're just among the most common verbs, like to give, to go, to know, and so on. So here they are: dati, biti, iti, vedeti, jesti, and povedati, or to give, to be in the future, to go, to know, to eat, and to tell. And we have dasta, dasta, daste, bosta, bosta, boste, gresta, gresta, greste, vesta, vesta, veste, jesta, jesta, jeste, povesta, povesta, poveste. And the reason we're saying all of the TA ones twice, of course, is because it's both for it's to emphasize the fact that it can be you two or they two. Okay, and so we have an example of dati, or to give. So it is otherwise a regular verb: dam, dash, da, dava, dasta, dasta, damo, daste, and da, jo. So again, otherwise regular, but it's still a plus S verb. And so we have the verb biti. So finally, so jaz sem, ti si, on je or ona je, midva sva or midve sva, vidva sta or vidve sta, onadva sta or onidve sta, and then we have mi smo or me smo, vi ste or ve ste, oni so or one so. And we said pronouns are not that important right now. Obviously they are important in general, but we should first focus on the verb forms. And even when we do get to the pronouns, sexist as it may be, definitely learn or focus on the masculine ones first, because the masculine ones are both for men as well as for mixed groups. So the feminine ones are just used the least, because you need to have a group of women and women only to be able to use it. So even when you do practice pronouns, I suggest you practice midva sva, vidva sta, and so on. That's of course you can learn the feminine ones as well. So again, it's sem, si, je, sva, sta, sta, smo, ste, and so. And so we can see that it's highly irregular. If this were a regular verb, we should be saying bim, bish, bi, biva, bita, bita, and so on. But it's far from that. Kind of the only way to kind of make sense of it is that B changes to an S, which doesn't always hold true, but that's maybe a way of conceptualizing this verb to be in the present tense. And so it's kind of as if B changes to an S. Now some, si, and ye are kind of complete exceptions. Some kind of fits the pattern. If we ignore the E, it would just be an S and then the M ending, but si and ye are just completely irregular. Similarly, so is very irregular. You would expect it, usually the ending there is a J-O, so it kind of should be like an S and a J and an O. Anyway, it's just so. Now, if we have a look at our plus S verbs, we can see that the endings sta and ste is actually the verb to be in the present tense. So just the endings of those verbs is everything there is to the verb to be in the present tense in those forms. So that's why we did all other kinds of verbs first to learn about verbs in general in Slovenian. Then we did plus S verbs, and only now we're doing the verb to be in the present tense, because I think it makes the most sense that way and is easiest to remember. So what do we have here? Yeah. So these are pretty easy to remember. I mean, it's sta, sta, ste. We know about those now. And then it's sva and smo. Sva and smo. And then the jo is tricky to remember. I mean, it's just so. And here it's also kind of just an S and an M, some, but there's an extra E there. Anyway, if we go through this again, some, si, je, sva, sta, smo, ste, so. And again, sva, sta, and smo and ste should not be that problematic. And neither should be some, I guess. But then si and ye and so we just have to remember. And obviously, like I will also point this out in a bit later, but the JE is by far the one that stands out the most. Like by far the weirdest one is he, she, is, because it's the only one that does not start with an S. So now let's look at negation. So most Slovenian verbs, or rather the vast majority of Slovenian verbs in the present tense, we negate them by just putting ne in front of the verb. Ne space verb form. Grem, ne grem. Delam, ne delam. Razumem, ne razumem. Pretty much all verbs behave like that, but to be, because it's an exception, does not. So we would expect it to be ne sam, ne si, ne sva, ne sta, but it's not that way. These are actually wrong. What happens is, rather than ne, we use an I, ni, and we make one word out of it. So it's nisam, nisi, and then just like in the affirmative forms, he, she was the biggest exception, so it is also in the negative forms. He, she is by far the biggest exception. This should be ni, ye, but it's not nie, it's just ni. And then ni sva, ni sta, nismo, niste, and niso. So once we know kind of the pattern of ni and make one word out of it, then all of them make sense except for ni. So ni is definitely the exception there. Nisam, nisi, ni, nisva, nista, nismo, niste, and niso. So verb negation usually, or the vast majority of the time, just ne plus verb form. Ne delam, ne razumem, ne govorim, and so on and so forth. What is important is that the two together form one unit. This is not important for today's lesson, but even though there are two separate words, ne delam, ne razumem, ne govorim, they count as one. This will be important in future lessons. Now we have irregular verb negation in the present tense, which is biti. It's ni instead of ne, and we just make one word, nisam, nisi, nisva. And he, she is an exception altogether. It's ni instead of nie. So, sam, nisam, si, nisi, je, and ni, rather than nie. Sva, nisva, sta, nista, nista. Smo, nismo, ste, niste, and so, niso. So that is the verb to be in the present tense. It's pretty irregular, it's pretty tricky, but once you know about plus S verbs and once you keep in mind this formula of ni plus make one word out of it, it's not that difficult. But it is one of the trickiest verbs in Slovenian for sure. So by far the weirdest one is he, she is and he, she isn't. It's je and ni. So he, she is, the third person singular, is definitely the black sheep of the family, and all other forms start with an S, but he, she is a J. So this is not important right now, but this will actually be very important in future lessons when we talk about clitics. And clitics are short grammar words that are important because of word order. And the fact that he, she does not start with an S, but rather a J, plays a role in Slovenian word order. But that's pretty advanced. It's not at all important right now. But what is important is to try remembering that kind of JE is the black sheep of the family. It sounds silly, but stuff like that, at least to me, helps remember dry, uninteresting grammar stuff. That is it for today's lesson. Now you know about the verb to be in the present tense, and yeah, good luck using it. So good luck on your Slovenian journey, and hopefully see you next time. Bye bye.